Hello friends, welcome to my channel Let's Talk Embedded, where we can learn various topics and technologies related to embedded systems. In this tutorial, I will be demonstrating how we can configure Visual Studio Code Editor for C programs. That means we can be able to run C programs in Visual Studio Code itself. The method I am demonstrating in this tutorial requires Microsoft Visual Studio. So Microsoft Visual Studio is a different from Visual Studio Code. So this is the most comprehensive integrated development environment for .NET, C and C++ like project. So if you are extensively working on these languages and the projects based on these languages, like the embedded systems and some .NET projects, you need to have this Visual Studio installed. So I have installed the Visual Studio 2019 community version, which is a free downloads. And if you are using the some commercial building some commercial applications or projects, and you probably need a professional or enterprise. So check as per your uses. So I believe the Visual Studio community is the base tool for the individual developers or classroom learnings and academic research projects, and the people who are contributing to open source projects. So, and it also have a lot of the capability and features which is sufficient for the individual developers or the small project to run, which are not commercialized. If you see the Visual Studio Code, it is a streamlined code editor. It's not a complete development environment. So it supports for development operations like debugging and task running and version control, and it aims to provide just the tools a developer needs for a quick code build debug cycle. It leaves more complex workflows to fuller featured IDEs such as a Visual Studio IDE. But in this video, we will see how we can quickly run the C programs using the Visual Studio Code. So you can download the Visual Studio Code from the code.visualstudio.com website, and this is a free download, and the license is free to use for personal and commercial. But if you're using for the commercial use, you can see more details in the license and uses. Some of the features I like most with the Visual Studio Code is the IntelliSense. We can run and debug the code faster. It has built-in capability for the version control of your project or source files using the Git. It has a lot of extensions, and if you see the number of programs it supports, there is a plethora of programs the Visual Studio Code can support. Some of them are like JavaScript, Python, Java, Markdown, C, C++, JSON, PowerShell, HTML, CSS, C hash, PHP, and so on. So there are many other languages that you can explore. So with these all features, the visuals, it makes a Visual Studio Code a most powerful editor. And with the help of the extensions that I'm going to demonstrate now, it becomes a very powerful tool or the compiler or editor for various languages. So let's get started. I have opened the Visual Studio Code editor, and the first step would be to install an extension for C++. So this is the first option from Microsoft. So this extension we want, and this extension adds language support for C, C++ to Visual Studio Code. So that language support including the IntelliSense feature and the debugging features. And note that this is not the only thing we require in order to compile the C language. So we need the C language compiler and extensive debugger, which we already installed in terms of Visual Studio community version. So we As you see, we already have this one of the prerequisites to have the Visual Studio integrated development environment installed. Some other prerequisites it's required is the compilers, right? And as we already have this Visual Studio, we will be having Microsoft Visuals C++ compiler, which is already available. If we want to use C lang or GCC, then probably need to explore some other methods to configure the compilers. Okay, so let's get installed. All right, so I installed the C++ extensions from the Microsoft. Now we can probably create one project. All right, in order to create a project, let's first create a folder for the project. And for that, I'm going to create a folder and inside D projects, let's see folder. Uh, for doing that, what I need to do is first open the developer command prompt for VS 2019. This is a command prompt which will be already there as we have installed the Visual Studio. And since this is a community version, you can see the path here is the Visual Studio 2019 community. So let's check if our compiler is available. So in order to do that, we need to type a command cl. So it's giving the option the Microsoft C++ optimizing compiler version 19.29.30133 for x86. So that means we have this cl.exe already available. Uh, Now let's go to the root folder and jump back to my project folder. Let's see. So cd projects, cd, let's see, create one folder here. So make dir, I will call this new project folder as a vs code. So if you see the vs code folder is created and it's blank now. And to launch the Visual Studio with this folder, I need to type a command like code space dot. Okay, so this will launch Visual Studio code, and this is the folder we have created just now. So let's add one .c file, .c, and I'm going to add a small program here just to print the hello VS Code string. Um, so if you run this, it will ask for any compiler. So in this case, it's asking for cl.exe build and debug active file. So when I hit that, it's compiling the project and it's popping up one output window where we can see our string is printed. So let's see what happened here in this project itself. So it created .vs code folder and it created the tasks.json file. So in the tasks.json file, you can see it is the command mentioned as a cl.exe, which is the triggering the compiler, right? And in some cases, if you don't have any success with this, what we can do is we can type the control shift p, and you can type c plus plus extension name, and then these are various options. So just select one option which is edit configurations, and in the when you hit the edit configuration, it will create C++ properties or JSON file. So it has some pre-populated configurations, uh, and one of the configurations that we want to have in place is the compiler path. This is the most important option. If this is a blank, and if your test code is not working, then probably like configure this compiler path. So for that, you have to go to your Visual Studio installation, uh, then go to the VC folder, tools, Microsoft Visual Studio compiler. Then inside that you have the bin folder, and you have two options. So let's select the host x86 and then x86. So this is the path you want to configure there, and note that you have to also add the exe or the utility that you have to trigger the compiler exe. So let's copy this path to the compiler path option and add the exe name at the end. All right, so when we do this, and if you go back to our C++ properties, you can see the new option is added in the configurations, which is a compiler path, and you can see the entire path has been configured here. Uh, now we can run the project as it is, as like we did before, and you can see the output window with the our string printed hello Visual Studio Code. So this is all about the configurations. If you like this video, please hit like button and do provide any suggestions or let me know if any questions. You can write comments in comment section. Subscribe to my channel for future videos and interesting topics, and don't forget to enable notification by clicking bell icon. Thank you.